Hey everyone, so today I'm going to do my July wrap-up and my August TBR. It's a little tad bit late. It's like August 3rd, 4th, whatever. It's late, kind of. It's like 11:30, and so I'm in my PJs and I'm ready for bed, but I want to film this video, so I'm gonna do it. I'm not going to talk about any of the booktubeathon books that I read, just because I have a video on that and it's kind of pointless. So yeah, I'm just going to start. I have 5 books that I read other than the ones that I read for the booktubeathon. The first one I actually mentioned in my booktubeathon video, that's The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan. This is the first book in the Heroes of Olympus. I started this during the booktubeathon, but I didn't finish it until after. So yeah, this follows Jason, Piper, and Leo, and Percy and Annabeth are intertwined with the stories. So yeah, the first book was okay. I didn't really particularly like Piper or Jason. I liked Leo a lot, but I don't know. My one friend read this series and she said she had the same kind of feelings towards the first book, and the second and the third and the fourth book were amazing. So I'm gonna keep reading them, but this was kind of an iffy book for me. I don't know, but I still love the whole world that Rick Riordan has, and I like Rick Riordan's writing, but this one didn't do too much for me. It got really boring in the middle. I was dying. I'm going to talk about a book that I finished and I don't have. It's The Stranger by Albert Camus, I believe. I loved this book. It's originally a French book and it was translated into English, and I really want to read it in French. But I got it from the library and I'm looking to own it because it was superb. I loved it. It follows a man who commits a murder, and it's really short, and it's really well done, and it's really interesting, and I really liked it. Books that I actually have in my possession, Patrick Innes's The Knife of Never Letting Go. This follows a boy named Todd. He's like 12 or something, and he lives in a different planet, and they hear each other's thoughts. And it's his shenanigans with his dog Manchi, and it's crazy. I actually kind of hated the first part of this book. There's like parts in it. There's part 2. The first part dragged on. I found it so boring. It took me forever to read it. But after I got done with part 1, I flew through this book. It was so just enthralling, if that's the word. Intriguing, amazing. I loved it. I actually did start the Ask and the Answer, which is the second book, but I never ended up finishing it just because the booktubeathon came up, and I don't know, it just kind of got pushed aside. But I am definitely going to continue on this series, and I do recommend it because it's crazy. The book that I finished like the first or second day of July is The Good Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This was a summer reading book for me, and so I finished it, wrote my essay. This was a reread actually. I read it a few years ago, I want to say. I don't know. I like it. The narrator is Nick Carraway. It follows his life and Jay Gatsby's life and Daisy Buchanan's life in the 1920s, and it's interesting, but you gotta have, I don't know, a lot of people don't like this book. I do. The last book that I'm going to talk about that I read was one of my favorite books this year, I would say, and that's The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. I didn't go into this book knowing anything, and I really liked it that way, so I'm not going to give a synopsis for this. It's really short. Neil Gaiman's writing blows me away once again. I love it. His writing is amazing, and I just want everybody to read this, and plus the cover. It's really pretty. And I got it at Target. This is a paperback. I've been waiting for it to come out in paperback for the longest time because I wasn't about to pay full price for it because I'm cheap. But yeah, this was really, really, really good, and it was not what I was expecting. So yeah, try not to know anything going into it. That's what I recommend. So my TBR for August is pretty lame because I pushed all of my summer reading back to the last month of summer. So I have 3 summer reading books that I have to complete, plus the essays I have to write for those books, plus like sentences that we have to write. So I'm a little busy with AP work, and I'm probably not gonna get through it fast because I'm not feeling any of the books I have to read. So I only have 2 books that aren't summer reading. One of them's not gonna get done for sure. One of them is probably gonna get done. So I'm gonna start with the summer reading because it's pretty boring. The first one I'm actually almost done with, and it's An American Childhood by Annie Dillard. I have like that much left, like 20 pages. This book is marked up in all sorts of ways. I dog-ear my pages in books that I have to read for school. Sue me. But yeah, this is just a story about, it's an autobiography, memoir thing about Annie Dillard's childhood growing up in Pittsburgh. And I don't really like it thus far. It's kind of just random memories that she possesses. I want to find this one part of this book because like it wasn't too bad, and then I read this part and I was like, it's going downhill. We had a puppy who was shorter than the big snow. Our parents tossed it for fun in the yard and it disappeared only to pop up somewhere else at random like a loon in a lake. After a few days of this game, the happy puppy went crazy and it died. It had distemper. While it was crazy, it ran around the house crying upstairs and down. That's basically the whole book. It's just her stating facts about what happened when she was little, and she has no emotions. And it's weird. Like, some parts are good messages and stuff, but some parts just are downright dumb. The next book that I'm dreading, and I actually have started, but I'm only 60 pages in, is Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. I do not like Mark Twain's writing style, so it's taken me a little while. It's a sequel to Tom Sawyer. I don't even know what it's about. I don't know. It's about Huck Finn's adventures, and it's killing me. So we actually got to pick a nonfiction book, and I was super excited, and I picked this really cool book, but then it didn't get approved by my teacher. So I had to pick a different book, and I had like 2 hours to pick it, and I didn't know what to do, so I just picked a really dumb book, and I'm really mad about it. And that's An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth by Colonel Chris Hadfield. I mean, it's not like, I don't think it's going to be terrible. It's just about his space adventure, but I hate space. Like, I'm so scared of it. So I'm really kind of dreading this. But yeah, I don't know. It has pictures in it, so that's kind of cool. And like, whoa. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's going to be like terrible, but not my first choice. The first book that I actually picked to read this summer, or this August, whatever, that is probably going to get finished is David Sedaris' Let's Explore Diabetes with Owls. This is just a short collection of essays that he's written. I read a few here and there throughout the past like month or so. I'm really digging them, so I'm probably gonna read this just because it's not like a continuous story that you have to like throw yourself into, and yeah, so it's cool. In the book that I just kind of want to get a start in, splash around, dip my feet in the water kind of deal, is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This is an epic fantasy, I believe. I've never read a book like this. This is actually via my boyfriend's recommendation. He's forcing me to read this, more or less, but I'm really excited because I want to. And I don't want to know anything about it. So I haven't let anybody tell me anything. So I don't know what it's about, but it's a monster of a book, and I've had it for like a month. So I want to get like 100 pages in. Test it out. Those are my books that I'm reading this August and that I read in July. So sorry it's kind of lame, but it's cool. I'll see you whenever I see you. Sorry this video is kind of bleh, but whatever.